Hi, I'm Tim Christopherson, and I would like to introduce to you Carl Rogers and the humanistic approach. Carl Rogers was born on January 8, 1902 in Oak Park, Illinois, where his father was a civil engineer and his mother a homemaker and devout Pentecostal Christian. She would play a huge role in his development and future decisions he would make later in life. In Rogers' early years, he was extremely intelligent and was a strict religious and was in a strong ethical environment as an altar boy. He was isolated and a disciplined person who had very much interest in the sciences. Carl's first career choice, far from psychology, was agriculture at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And after completing Madison and graduating, he went on to go to seminary school, in which after 2 years he decided to go for his master's and PhD, which he received in 1931 for psychology at Columbia University. The humanistic approach was developed as a rebellion from the behavioralism and psychodynamic views, which were the two main popular views at this time. Humanists saw these two views as dehumanizing. People are more than just reacting to stimuli, and that they are very well aware of their own thoughts and thought processes. Humanism is unique, and that psychology isn't just about behavior, a response to stimuli from the views of Watson and Skinner. Psychology isn't Freudian or unconscious, that people are very well aware of their thoughts and actions. And finally, psychology isn't just about thinking through introspection, or in other words, thinking of our own thoughts as thought by Wundt, because sometimes we have just purely illogical ideas. Humanism emphasizes in the study of the person, not in parts or steps that need to be fixed, but as a whole individual that has the capability of helping themselves. Or in other words, psychologists take a phenomenological approach, where they view behavior not only as the observer, but also through the eyes of the individual. So this should look familiar to you, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Both Carl Rogers and Maslow both furthered the humanistic approach with these needs. So we know we start out at the bottom with the physiological needs. Once these are met, we feel safe. And after we feel safe, we can then branch out and build friendships and relationships with the people around us. These relationships build up our self-esteem. After we start feeling good, we can tackle the big things in life, like our morality, creativity, spontaneity, and all those other problems that come along. Carl Rogers built up upon this. Carl added that people also desire to grow into better individuals. For a person to grow, they need an environment that provides genuineness, which provides complete openness and self-disclosure, acceptance, in which they are seen with unconditional positive regard, and finally empathy, with which the individual is listened to and understood by their therapist. Without these relationships, a healthy personality will not properly develop, much like a plant needing both food and water to grow. Self-actualization is one of the main focuses in humanism. Carl Rogers believed that everyone can achieve their goals and desires in life, only and if only self-actualization takes place. Our health is about how we perceive a situation. As quoted from Carl, no one else can know how we perceive. We are the best experts on ourselves. Carl believed that human beings have one basic motive, and that is to fulfill their own potential and become the best that we can become. Just like a plant, we strive to become that flower, and only when conditions are right, sometimes in which an environment constrains us. People will flourish and reach their potential only when their environment is right. Unlike a flower, although the potential for each individual is unique, and we develop differently depending on our own unique personalities. Rogers believed that people are inherently good, and have only the best intentions all the time, but become destructive only when poor self-concept or external constraints override our valuing processes. Carl believed that for a person to achieve self-actualization, they must first be in a state of congruence. This congruence happens in which the ideal self, which is what we want to become, a star athlete, a scientist, president, and our actual self, a poor college student right now. Only when those two are in line can we achieve that congruence. It is a constant struggle, or seesaw, between these two that brings us to stress, that affects our self-esteem and may harm our self-image, which takes away from our self-actualization. In our life, We either need to find that correct balance between a realistic and obtainable ideal self, while bettering ourselves with our actual self to work at fitting that ideal title. Carl believed that we only become a fully functioning person when we have both of these in check. Carl Rogers describes a fully functioning person pertaining to 5 indicators. The first one, openness to experiences. We accept both positive and negative emotions as they come. Negative feelings are not denied or found fault, but they are worked through to better us. There's existential living, in which we are in touch with different experiences as they occur in our life, and we avoid prejudice and preconceptions. This is being able to appreciate the present in which we live in, and not always looking back in time or for the future for our soul or for our happiness. We should trust our feelings, instincts, and gut reactions, that we know ourselves and that we trust ourselves to make the right decisions for us. Creativity, creative thinking and risk-taking, and the ability to adjust and change to these new experiences that come in our life. And finally, the last one, a fulfilled life. A person is happy and satisfied with their life and choices, and always looking for new challenges or experiences to tackle. Rogers continued teaching until 1963 at the University of Wisconsin, until he became a resident at the Western Behavioral Science Institute in California. There he remained a resident for the rest of his life, doing therapy, teaching, giving workshops, and writing. His last years were devoted to applying his theories in situations of political oppression, and traveling to places such as Belfast, for lecturing workshops, and in Russia, and until his untimely death due to falling and breaking his pelvis, in which he went into surgery successful but died of complications later the next day. The legacy of Rogers has left us much to work with and expand in the realm of psychology. He first left us with person-centered therapy and one-on-one with our clients. 2, he introduced unconditional positive regard, which gives the client a safe environment during their therapy. 3, he introduced egalitarian counseling relationships. During this time, therapists had a sort of one-up position or were put on a pedestal with authority over their client, and Rogers promoted a direct relationship with his clients. And for the first time, he used the word client instead of patient while working with them. 4, he introduced reflection. An example of reflection, a client says that they're angry. Rogers would rephrase this sentence, so you are feeling really angry, which gives a safe avenue for dialogue to open up, while the client expels their thoughts and emotions, and this is used as a very powerful therapeutic tool. And finally, Rogers set the stage for counseling theory to be built on. Someone clients look forward to coming to with a warm and enriching environment, or sometimes someone to just listen and legitimately care about them. So here are some quotes from Rogers and some food for thought before I leave you. I have gradually come to one negative conclusion about the good life, and it seems to me that the good life is not at any fixed state. It is not, in my estimation, a state of virtue or contentment or nirvana or happiness. It is not a condition in which the individual is adjusted or fulfilled or actualized. The good life is a process, not a state of being. It is a direction and not a destination. In conclusion, our thoughts shape our reality, and that we actually do have control of what we consist our reality to entail. So I thank you for your time, for taking to listen to me in my PowerPoint, and here is Carl Rogers for you. Thank you.